Hi guys, रात के बज रहे 4:30 and the transfer deadline, the summer transfer deadline is done. It's closed and yeah, बहुत कुछ हुआ and we'll quickly go through and discuss what I thought in terms of great set of players, some great signings, and let's quickly dive into what I know. Some signings you might know, some you might not. But bhai, 130 million Enzo Fernandez to Chelsea for a contract from now till June 2030. I think it's 120 plus some add-ons, and I mean, being a Chelsea fan, absolutely, I think worth the price because हमें वो चाहिए था after Jorginho left. So Jorginho happened to Arsenal 2 days ago, and yeah, Enzo Fernandez almost about an hour ago it was confirmed he is in, and he's a great player. So we've seen that he is one of like the great stars that rose in the World Cup, but he's young and he's probably a perfect replacement, like sort of a replacement for Jorginho. And he can progress the ball. He has a good tackle rate. He's about what 55 to 60% successful tackle rate, 88% passing accuracy, makes progressive passes, makes those progressive runs, and he's young, so genuinely good investment by Chelsea. I don't know how they pulled off the financial fair play triggers, and it's just hilarious the amount of money we as a club, Chelsea, are investing in players. Absolutely no regards to financial fair play, but again, important signing for Chelsea, especially after Jorginho left yesterday. So great signing altogether. Enzo Fernandez to Chelsea is one of the biggest signings of this summer transfer window. But second, there's something more interesting and much more, I think, much more impact worthy as a signing, which is Sabitzer to United. That signing went on today as well. Sabitzer confirmed to coming to United. Now he hasn't been good this season. He has just what one goal and one assist throughout the season for Bayern. He's got 15 not starts but 15 appearances, and could go haywire. But what I like about him, especially to United, is that he can play two or maybe possibly three positions. So he can play in number 6 position. He can play as a cam, and he can play on the right wing. He has done that before as well. So it really offloads a lot of duties from Bruno Fernandes, and especially with Eriksen's injury, it is very important that he is sticking into that role. And now there's a creative midfielder coming, especially after Eriksen got injured. Yes, the numbers are low. He could be completely off form, but again, having that depth is important for United. That will really help. If not this season, to like this season, it helps them to contain the top 4 and like hold the top 4 spot. But next season again, when they want to challenge the title, it will certainly help them. That positional depth, that creativity Sabitzer gets. I think he could be very useful in that CM role where he could be. Bruno probably sticks to the right wing. He plays in the number 6 in place of Eriksen. I think it really sticks there. Something more interesting happened in Chelsea. Hakim Ziyech is off to PSG on a loan. Agreement done on deadline time. I think just they did the paperwork. They still have to register the player in France, but he's off. He's off for a loan to Paris Saint-Germain, and fair enough for him because he wasn't getting enough game time here. He was taking form, so something more important is it does give depth to PSG and something off the bench. But Chelsea, actually, in the last 4 games, he had 3 assists as well. So he's doing really good at Chelsea. He's taking those form even for just in the World Cup as well. He was doing decent. So I think it's probably the wrong timing for Chelsea to let go of that player. But again, one transfer that happened and went through. Some other transfers were Pedro Porro from Sporting to Tottenham. 6 foot guy, absolutely good right back. Much needed after Doherty left to Atletico Madrid. In fact, just in case, he's a very good upgrade to Doherty as well. I think in general he will do well. He's got a good accuracy in terms of crosses and interceptions. I think it's about the interceptions. He's made about 15 to 20 interceptions till now. He's 6 assists, 4 goals. Chances created 32, which is per game chances about 3 chances. So he is the attacking right back that Conte wanted, and he is exactly that. I think he can deliver exactly what Conte wants out of him. He's fast, he's good, he's pacey, and he's strong. So I think it is completely a type of a Conte signing. Again, let's read out some. There are 2 transfers which happened for Nottingham Forest again, which are very good. First of them was, I think, Keylor Navas, which everyone saw and everyone knew about, that Keylor Navas happened to Nottingham Forest. But one another transfer that happened was Felipe from Atletico Madrid to Nottingham Forest. I think that is somewhat went under the radar, and that happened as well. So Nottingham Forest again making two transfers on deadline day. Uh, Lokongo went from Arsenal to Crystal Palace, which is also surprising that I think he played in the FA Cup game recently, did a decent job. He's absolutely off form, but I think with all the issues Doucouré has at Crystal Palace, with all the injuries he has, Lokongo really helps Vieira in his setup. I think now with Doucouré, he really gives that extra strength and balance to the team, and should really help Crystal Palace. Yes, he's totally off form, doesn't really provide much, but I think at Crystal's level, I think it would be a good signing. Next, one major thing that happened is Leicester have let go of Jose Perez to Real Betis and even Mark Albrighton without signing any replacements for now. So it's really depleting the squad. I don't know how, like, Rogers is giving an approval for this, but it's actually depleting the squad a lot, and I don't think they'll be contesting very well. I'm not sure if I wouldn't be surprised if they're in the relegation battle in the coming seasons, because they're absolutely signing nobody. The squad is getting a bit rugged. They have injuries. Vardy is again aged, so it is heavily dependent on Harvey Barnes and probably now Daka and Madison especially. So I don't know. I mean, I really don't know why they let off players without signing anybody. One major thing that happened from Brentford was Canos was laid off as well. Canos was laid off to I think Olympiacos. So that happened. Jorginho to Arsenal. We discussed that. Big loss for Chelsea. He was doing decent. I think he, given the fact also that he's done decent enough in the past few seasons for Chelsea, just going off for 12 million is a loss. 10 plus 2, I think that's the deal, and absolute loss in terms of monetary value for Chelsea, because we could have easily, given the fact that Caicedo wasn't happening, I think we could have easily stretched that price to at least 20-25, and we should have done that. But again, in terms of monetary value, really bad. One big thing that happened for Aston Villa was Aaron Ramsey off to Middlesbrough. So that's something that happened for Aston Villa as well. When I look up for more, obviously João Cancelo to Bayern, what a steal, and what a fallout from being the number one progressive fullback in the Premier League, having most passes into the penalty area, most final third touches, being one of the most creative and attacking fullback, now completely off by Pep, and he's loaned out to Bayern Munich with a buying clause of about 70 million. And I mean, I'm out of words. His form was dropping. Yes, his form was dropping this season. He hadn't have he even if you look at his goal involvement, I think there are 3 or 4 about goal involvement, direct goal involvements for City. His goal involvements were reduced this season. He was not looking fit. In the World Cup, he was not that good. Again, post World Cup, Pep said he was not fit. He was not in the shape. Then he had a fallout with Pep as well. So, totally going down for him. And I think, yeah, but for Bayern, it's a great deal. So now Bayern have both the best right back and probably the best left back in the world as well. Great signing. And Bayern, when you look at it from Bayern's point of view, they probably will have the league. I don't think there's a doubt. Yes, Union Berlin are still challenging for it, and they will have a genuine chance. But I think Bayern will still clutch it. And when you look at it from the Champions League perspective, Cancelo have enough time, and they can give it a shot again. And I think Bayern will have a genuine chance again this year for the Champions League. One transfer that I have just received, and I mean on the notification sheet, is Jonjo Shelvey to Nottingham Forest. Again, a last minute transfer that happened in the league, and he's gone. He's off Newcastle. I don't know why. I think it's because of the game time. But now the fact that Bruno Guimaraes just got a red card in the EFL final, and he's out for the next 3 Cup, I think Jonjo Shelvey could have been helpful. But again, he's off to Nottingham Forest on a loan deal, I think. What else? West McKennie from Juventus to Leeds. That's a great signing. That out of the blue center midfielder. I think he comes in place. Maybe could play the number 8 role, or couldn't come cam, and then Rodrigo shifts up. It could happen. I think he could shift on the wing as well. So good signing for Leeds, given the player profile. He's fast. He's fit. Likes to cut inside and shoot. And I think that's kind of a player Leeds like and Leeds want. Leeds are not challenging much. I think they're still in the relegation battle, so it probably is a signing that can take them out of the relegation battle. Again, any other Anthony Gordon to Newcastle happened long time ago. I think it happened about 5-6 days ago. But Anthony Gordon to Newcastle is a great signing. One, because Allan Saint-Maximin is always injured. It's a great depth to the squad, and if if in case they want to shift to a 4-4-2 or a 4-3-3 flat where even Gordon can play in the midfield. They've done it in the past. I think now Joelinton is playing on the left wing. They can play Gordon. He's fast. He's very good, and he's shown at Everton that he can drive the team himself. So at one flank you have Almiron, who's putting the defensive effort. Gordon also puts in a lot of defenders. Amongst the forward, in the forward category, I think he's in the top 8 or top 10 for most defensive actions by any forward in the league. So you know that he's putting those defensive actions and defensive efforts in terms of getting the ball back, and that's exactly what like Eddie Howe wants a player to be. And I think that's a perfect deal for Newcastle. It gives them depth. It gives them a player that they want and like. I think we had Malo Gusto that happened earlier from we had Chelsea, Leon to Chelsea and back to Leon on loan deal. He'll come in next in the next window. He'll come back. I think that happened, and yeah, I think we've discussed Matt Doherty to Atletico Madrid. That happened, and Craig Dawson happened to Wolves. That happened in a slight way off. Nobody noticed that. Leon Trossard happened from Brighton to Arsenal. We've seen him play, so that's not a shocker at the moment. And Danny Ings to West Ham from Aston Villa, something that was shocked as well. So he could be back in terms of goals. He'll get more minutes, and yeah, and Aston Villa have let go of their second striker. Now they're just on Watkins. If Watkins gets injured, they're in a bit of a trouble, I think, in my opinion. And one signing that we've not discussed, I think, which will be very, very essential, is Pablo Sarabia from PSG to Wolves. Underrated signing, I think. He is going under the radar. He will take Wolves. So Wolves at the moment are not able to finish. Not that Sarabia is closely even in form. So he's absolutely out of form. He's not even close to what his potential is. But it's exactly the kind of player Wolves might have needed at this point of the time. He's good creative. He can come in the half spaces. He can shoot. He can dribble. And Wolves like such a player, and he's fast. So it really suits their counter-attacking mentality. Although they don't want to play that at the moment, but it suits the kind of football they want to play ahead, going ahead, and like what kind of football is needed at this stage of the league. So really important for Wolves. I think that's most of the transfer news that happened in the last 2-3 days. I think I've covered a lot of transfers as well that happened before, including something like Anthony Gordon. But yeah, on the top of my mind, and even if I check the list, those are the transfers. Yep, I think those are the ones which were important, which happened on the last day. And yeah, let me know your thoughts. So totally bizarre window. 130 million spent by Chelsea. In fact, not even 130. If you look at all the other signings, it did about 150 million spent by Chelsea in this window. Arsenal got a steal of a window. They let go of Lokongo. They had Jorginho come in as a replacement, which is great to add depth to the squad. And in general, he could be first starter as well. I don't know if they will drop anyone out of Partey and Xhaka. I don't see them dropping Partey or Xhaka. They're absolutely great, and they are phenomenal as a pair. So I don't see any reason why they need to drop them. But again, he comes in to add that depth and experience he has. And yeah, and they've brought in Trossard as well. So genuine title challenge for them in my opinion. In fact, it's their title to lose at this point. And again, Nottingham Forest making 3 genuine good signings. 2 strengthening their defense, 1 strengthening their attack, and technically their defense as well. Jonjo Shelvey is a CM. He is not very great attacking wise, but he's putting in a lot of effort in terms of defensive recoveries. And those are the main transfers that happened. I think those are the main moves that happened throughout the window. Let me know what you thought about this. I think a decent transfer window for overall for everyone. I think that's fine. And yeah, that's about it. Thank you guys.